What up, everyone? This is Mr. Lord, Dr. Professor, Dark Joker, with another edition of Where, Pick, and Dare, where I pick games for the various games that are occurring tomorrow. Whether it's football, baseball, basketball, basically whatever games I want to pick, I will pick them. With all that being said, on with the video. MLB, San Diego Padres versus Milwaukee Brewers. So the Padres have a 48.6% chance to win, and the Brewers have a 51.4% chance to win. This is at Milwaukee. For pitchers, Burgert for the Padres has an ERA of 2 and a WHIP of 1. And Seval where for the Brewers has an ERA of 5.19 and a WHIP of 1.33. So neither pitcher has done a lot. And so, yeah, I mean, for Burger, those no 90. That's like his entire career. He hasn't done much. Now, Seavale, he's done a lot more, and so let's see what his career ERA is. So he's pitched 653 2/3 innings, and he's allowed 295 earned runs. So to do that, we take let's see 295 earned runs divide by 653 2/3, multiply that by 9, and we get 4.06 ERA for his career. Yeah, so so we know so Berger doesn't have a lot of experience, but his ERA is better than Seavale's career. So it is tough to say who has the advance. From experience point, it's definitely the Brewers and pitching experience, but with numbers, I'm gonna say experience will be the big thing. So I'm gonna go with the Brewers with the advantage. So with home field advantage and pitching advantage, I think the Brewers will beat the Padres tomorrow. Chicago Cubs versus Detroit Tigers. The Cubs have a 47.6% chance to win, and the Tigers have a 52.4% chance to win. This is at Detroit for pitchers. Horton for the Cubs has an ERA at 3.51, the WHIP of 1.21, and Flaherty for the Tigers has an ERA at 3.72 and the WHIP of 1.09. So good pitching for both teams. Slight advantage for the Cubs, but not really that significant. So I think home field advantage would be the big thing here. So with home field advantage, I think the Tigers will beat the Cubs tomorrow. Houston Astros versus Cleveland Guardians. The Astros have a 49.2% chance to win, and the Guardians have a 50.8% chance to win. This is at Cleveland. For pitchers, Walter for the Astros has an ERA of 0 and a WHIP of .8. And Bibby for the Guardians has an ERA of 3.89 and a WHIP of 1.24. Now, Walter hasn't pitched much this year, so so for his career, he's played 10 games. He's only pitched in his career, not this year. In his career, he has pitched 28 innings. Now, this year, he's pitched 5. So, for his career ERA, he's allowed 16 earned runs. So, 16 divided by 28 times 9 gives us 5.14 approximate ERA. So, that's not necessarily a good ERA for a career. So I'd say the advantage is in favor in the Guardians for pitching, because that's good pitching from Bibby, for the Guardians, less than 4. So I think with the pitching advantage and the home field advantage, I think the Guardians will beat the Astros tomorrow. Toronto Blue Jays versus the Minnesota Twins. The Blue Jays have a 33.5% chance to win, and the Twins have a 66.5% chance to win. This is at Minnesota for pitchers. Francis for the Blue Jays has an ERA of 5.84 and a WHIP of 1.47. And Ryan for the Twins has an ERA of 2.91 and a WHIP of .9. So good pitching for the Twins, not good pitching for the Blue Jays. So definite advantage for the Twins. So with pitching advantage and home field advantage, I think the Twins will beat the Blue Jays tomorrow. Los Angeles Dodgers versus St. Louis Cardinals. The Dodgers have a 49.1% chance to win, and the Cards have a 50.9% chance to win. Is that St. Louis? For pitchers, Kershaw for the Dodgers has an ERA of 5.17 and the WHIP of 1.66. And McGreevy for the Cards has an ERA of 0 and the WHIP of .35. Now, neither one has played a lot this year. I mean, Kershaw obviously has played a lot of games in his career. I mean, he's like an all-time great pitcher, and he's pitched 27.58 1/3 innings and has allowed 771 earned runs. So for his career ERA, we take 771 divided by 27.58 and 2/3 and then multiply that by 9 to get approximately 2.52 ERA for his career. And then for McGreevy, he let's see. So yeah, he hasn't played much in his career, but so he has pitched in 5 and 2/3 innings this year. Now in his career, he has pitched 28 and 2/3 innings, and he's allowed 5 earned runs. So we take, you know, we basically how we do this is we take 5 earned runs divided by 28 and 2/3, and then multiply that by 9 to get to we get a 1.57 approximate career ERA. Now that's still low sample size, and Kershaw is very experienced. So with experience, I probably would give the edge to the Dodgers, a slight edge to the Dodgers in this, but it's not. I don't know if it's a significant number. So the home field advantage, I think the Cardinals are gonna beat the Dodgers tomorrow. NBA. Indiana Pacers versus Oklahoma City Thunder, game 2. So Pacers are up 1-0 in the series, and they have a 39.3% chance to win, and the Thunder has a 60.7% chance to win. This is at OKC. So, Pacers were able to get a miracle victory yesterday. Well, yes, last game, and yeah, I mean, taking the game in OKC definitely helps them because they don't have home field advantage for the series. Like if this goes to 7, the final game's in OKC. Now with Pacers getting a win in OKC, that helps them out a lot, especially when they go home. So I think with this being at OKC, I think the Thunder will tie it up. I think they'll win the game tomorrow and to tie the series at 1-1. College baseball. Arizona Wildcats versus North Carolina Tar Heels, game 3. This series is tied 1-1. Yeah, North Carolina won game 1, Arizona won game 2. So we have number 5 versus unranked. So, with this being in Chapel Hill and North Carolina being as good as they are, being as high ranked as they are, I think they win game 3 tomorrow to go on to the College World Series. Murray State Racers versus Duke Blue Devils, game 2. So this is in Durham. So Duke won game 1, so they're ahead in series 1-0. If they win tomorrow, they move on to the College World Series. But if Murray State wins, The series is tied, then game 3 will be Monday. So, yeah, I mean, I think with this being at Duke, I mean, I don't know if I could trust Murray State too much. I mean, they're like G5 level. We have Duke's Power 5. I'm picking Duke to win game 2 tomorrow and to go on to Omaha. Miami Hurricanes versus Louisville Cardinals, game 3. So this series is tied 1-1. Whoever wins tomorrow goes on to Omaha. With how good Miami is, they have a chance to win, but with this being at Louisville, I think the home field advantage will give Louisville the win tomorrow to win the series and go on to the College World Series. Tennessee Volunteers versus Arkansas Razorbacks, game 2. So, we have number 14 versus number 3. Arkansas won game 1. They're ahead in the series 1-0. This is at Fayetteville, so they have a good chance. Arkansas has a good chance to win game 2 tomorrow to be on Omaha. But I think this is going to 3 games, so I'm picking Tennessee to beat Arkansas tomorrow. UTSA Roadrunners versus UCLA Bruins, game 2. So UCLA won game 1, so they're up 1-0 in the series. So if they win game 2, then they go on to the College World Series. Now, if UTSA wins game 2, then they tie the series, and the series goes on to game 3 on Monday. So UCLA is 15th in the nation. UTSA is unranked. They have a lot of wins for an unranked team, though. I think with it being at Los Angeles, I mean, there can be a lot of UTSA fans there. I mean, heck, not that there are a lot of UTSA fans in general. So I think with the home field advantage, like significant home field advantage, and with how good UCLA is, I think the Bruins will beat the Roadrunners in game 2 to go on to Omaha. West Virginia Mountaineers versus LSU Tigers, game 2. So LSU won game 1. They're ahead 1-0 series. This is in Baton Rouge, so it's in Alex Box Stadium, one of the toughest places to play in. If you're a visiting team. So this is number 6 versus unranked. I think, with this being at Baton Rouge, I think LSU's winning. I think they're going to beat West Virginia tomorrow to go on to Omaha. Florida State Seminoles versus Oregon State Beavers, game 3. So this series is tied 1-1. Oregon State won game 1, and Florida State won game 2. So whoever wins tomorrow goes on to Omaha. And with this being in Corvallis, I think that Oregon State wins game 3 tomorrow to go on to the College World Series. And that's it for picks. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening to my picks. Do you agree with them? Do you not? If you have different picks, you can put them in the comments. But other than that, please like, subscribe, and all that. Thank you for listening, and look forward to the next video.